Good afternoon, everyone. We're grateful for ASL interpretation here.
Okay, is it the last announcement? Okay, and then we're out of vegan, right?
Let's do some roll call. My name is Shalom. I'm the pastor here. I'm one of the leaders of Common Good Tacoma who's hosting this pre-rally. Welcome. Common Good Tacoma believes in healing justice, cultural belonging, and the abolition of poverty. And one way that we do that is definitely not by undercutting our public institutions. That's right. And so we're going to just do a little roll call. Can you just make some noise if you're a student here today? Make some noise, students. How about some professional staff? I think you're called OPs. You're my lifesavers. That's who you are. Teachers, are you in the house? Let me hear from the parents. Are the parents and if you just showed up because you are a concerned neighbor, make some noise. That's right. That is right. Welcome, everyone. There are para-educators who came and helped us out. The para-educators. We're so glad you're here. We're going to hear from TFESP soon, but I wanted to turn the mic over. This is what's going to happen. We're only here for a short amount of time. About 30 minutes from now, we're making our way up 7th, crossing the street the most safe way possible, and we're going to gather before we go into the school board. Does that sound like an okay agenda? So that's me putting all of our wonderful speakers on notice. It's not long. You're not going to be on this mic for long, but we want to hear from you. And we want to start by hearing from our students. So let's make some noise for Jess from IDEA.
There was a rumor going around that some teachers would be let go for one reason or another. And doing some more research, I found out later that day that that was due to budget cuts that the district was experiencing due to the state. And naturally, I was outraged. So the moment I got home, I started drafting up a petition about why I oppose this and why we as students should oppose this. I went to school not really thinking much would come of it. During lunch, I got one of our teachers to help me print it out, and I went around the school getting signatures from over 100 people. And the reason that we care so much about this is because teachers are the heart of our community. They show the future generations what they need to know, and they help and they teach. And yeah, that's why I made this petition.
Jess is a concerned person who is taking some action, and that's what we are all doing here tonight. Amen? Sorry, I'm from the church. Is that right? Okay, all right. Let's get Kari up here to speak to us, the president of TFESP.
As any educator, currently or way back, I don't care if they retired 40 years ago, everybody knows that Tacoma has a reputation for being top-heavy. They always have. And now, when their revenue doesn't keep up with their excess administrators, with their inflated salaries, who's paying? We are. Our students are. We need to tell the district to find a way. Find a way to cut from the top. Look for other solutions. Look harder for other solutions, but stop balancing the budget on those of us who already struggle the most and the students we support.
I didn't realize I was speaking right now. I started jotting a few things down, but I know as an ESP in the middle school, there's a lot to say. As ESPs, so many of us have lost our jobs. There are a shameful amount of us that already have to get assistance, have to choose between going to food banks and paying the rent while we work with the most vulnerable students. We live in the communities we work in. We know the kids, we know the families. Losing our office staff, new teachers, paras, this is going to devastate the kids, it's going to devastate the community. If they think we're just going to be quiet while they balance their budget on the backs of some of their lowest paid workers and we're not going to be out here, they're wrong. We're out here making some noise for Tacoma, for our schools, for our town, and for each other.
We know that the unions represented here are only as good as they are in solidarity with other labor. Amen? So we're going to hear now from Dario Titus, rank and file member of UFCW 367.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Dario Titus. As you said, I'm a member from UFCW 367 out of the Fred Meyer in Gig Harbor. I grew up here in Tacoma with 3 brothers, and we would not be the people we are today without the teachers that we have. So thank you all for being here. Our union is also going through our contract negotiations right now, so we support you guys with everything that you're demanding, and we hope that you guys can support us as well. We have our next negotiation session open to the community on June 5th at the Tacoma Convention Center. So if you want to support, we'll see you there. And tonight we also have a couple of our staff members with petitions collecting signatures for a Workers' Bill of Rights. So if you're interested in finding out more about that and supporting us, find one of our members and you can sign a petition in support. So thanks, everybody.
We want to make sure that we hear from the president of TEA, Angel Morton. So please welcome Angel.
Hey, thank you guys for being here. I see a lot of old faces, and I don't mean old, I just mean people I've known for a while, in case some of you are old. I see a lot of new faces, and I see a lot of people I've worked with this year, and a lot of folks that are really suffering under the decisions the district's making right now. Things are a mess. The district is trying to solve their budget problem by impacting you guys, the people that work with the kids. The work with the kids is the work of the district, and they need to keep their hands off. We are not the ones that created this budget shortfall. The state created the problem, but the district knew the problem was coming, and they did not plan adequately. Instead, it feels like every day there's a new little bit of information that comes out, a new little plan that hasn't quite been figured out. So we're going to the school board tonight, and we're going to demand that they support our students, the kids of Tacoma. We have 3 asks of the school board. Ask number 1 is transparency. Work with us so that we can figure out how our students can best be supported. Take the time to get their plans fully planned so that people know what to expect. We want transparency. We want to know what's around the corner for us. Our second ask is for student safety. They need to rearrange their financial priorities so that the maximum staff can be in the schools where our kids are, where the work of the district is. Our students rely on ESPs being there. They rely on their counselors and their librarians and all of their teachers. But the ESPs, the counselors, the librarians, those are the adults that are constant year after year after year. Those are the people that kids develop relationships with and go to when they're having trouble. And we need to keep these positions safe. Our third ask is for creativity. There's got to be more than one way to solve this problem. So we're asking our school board, what can we change here? How can we change what we're doing to do the most good for the most students? Tacoma administrators need to look in the mirror and they need to ask themselves, is the work I'm doing supporting every student every day? I don't think so. Thanks for being here.
The asks are clear, and if it's still unclear, there's some more material right here. This petition that makes it very clear for you, one-page handout, what you are asking for.
First of all, where's my Reed folks at? Where's the Jenny Reeds at? Yeah, there they are. Second of all, I just got a message saying the school board meeting has changed its agenda. They were supposed to talk about the budget. They heard y'all were coming, so now they're not going to talk about the budget. What do you think about that? Now, I'm a gym teacher, but I wrote a little song and I was wondering if you'd like to sing it. Thumbs up if you're ready to sing. Oh yeah, ready? Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
We need teachers. We need ESPs.
We need teachers. We need ESPs.
We don't need directors with humongous salaries.
We don't need directors with humongous salaries.
We need librarians in our libraries.
We need librarians in our libraries.
We don't need directors with humongous salaries.
We don't need directors with humongous salaries.
We need a budget that serves our students' needs.
We need a budget that serves our students' needs.
But we don't need directors with humongous salaries.
But we don't need directors with humongous salaries.
Yeah, we got a little punk rock over here. Let's go. You all. That's the song we're singing up there. Get your singing voices ready. Love everybody here. Make some noise for Tacoma. This is folks showing up for a common good reason, and that's to serve our students. Who are we fighting for? Students! Who are we fighting for? Students! Who are we fighting for? Students! I got a question. Does anybody here make over $300,000 a year? A couple folks in there, Dario?
Has not kept up. And so that is part of the reason why we feel the crunch of revenues. We're not able to keep up with inflation. We're not able to keep up with the competitive market-driven salaries that we offer. And the state is not providing us with revenues in order to do so. And what that ends up doing is, well, we're now in a situation where we don't have those resources available anymore. They're one-time funds when we do have them there. So.
It's a legal requirement in there. So we have communicated to employees that this is sort of a very decisions. Oh wait, some people in the second room have finished. apologize to the people in the second room. I made a horrible mistake. I told folks it wasn't going to be my last mistake. I apologize. And every employee works hard here.
I see you, I hear you, and you belong, and everybody belongs, so you shouldn't be over 200.
Excuse me, ma'am. I gave you. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I will vote too. Let's go ahead. Here's what I'm going to say.
Don't blame staff at any level for working hard over a lifetime, furthering their education and making a career by helping students by saying they don't deserve something. Please consider modeling the way for our kids.
Just for clarification, is that the other room? Okay, I just want to be sure because I'll clear it all out if we got to clear it all out. We all know how to follow instructions. Go ahead, Josh.
Hi, I want to provide you guys with the empathy and understanding you're asking for, but that's very difficult to do when I don't see that being reciprocated for our teachers. And it seems to me that you don't understand the impact they have and the broad details that they have, and you choose to focus on the nuance of individual budgets, of what is going on at higher levels, rather than focusing on the pure power and importance of the things that these teachers hold. Teachers have done incredible things, both for me, and losing these teachers would be something that would be absolutely devastating. I'm a student of Idea High School. We're losing Tony and Merwin, two fantastic teachers. Merwin has made great and fantastic strides in our ethnic studies department, in our English department. I've never even had her class, but I've seen students who've improved every day, who have changed their mind on things, who have grown so much, and they're losing just a beautiful mind. He was incredibly good at educating, and this is happening to thousands of jobs at an expense that feels to me to be unfair. And I'm not the greatest at math. Perhaps I'll get worse at it as I lose educators. But I would encourage you to look closely at what you were doing and what you were willing to provide for yourself without considering others, without showing empathy for your fellow man, just for the people around us. I would ask you, please, as a plea of empathy, to consider the students and to consider how important these teachers are to us. Thank you.
I'm Alicia Blakefield, parent of 2 elementary students, and I also am the enrollment secretary at Washington Elementary. I have been there for 3.5 years, started as recess supervisor, and I was lucky enough to get a full-time job there, which I love, 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 love my job. I work there for the children, and they know it. On a personal level, I just finished my degree to be a teacher because I was passionate about the children. And I want to work with them more on a one-on-one. I just love them. I took pause on student teaching, though, just because of federal environment, state and local environments for being a teacher. It doesn't look positive, and I love my job, so I'm gonna stay where I'm at because I'm still helping students every single day. So for the legislature, if you're listening, we do need dollars to keep people wanting to be teachers in schools that have good scores, in districts that have good scores, where children are thriving. It's unfortunate for everybody that wants to be a future educator. And then some bullet points just for maybe people watching who don't understand. We lost our building para. She is applying for another job. Some facts on that: she makes $26 an hour, which is under the it's $8,000 over the federal poverty rate. She has a child. She knows every one of our 360 students by name and interacts with all of them, both for behaviors, encouragement, recess, lunch, anything and everything we could ever need. She is a fantastic human. So yes, she will probably get her job back, but she is still making under poverty wages. Living wage in Tacoma is $46 an hour, by the way.
Hello, I'm a student at Lincoln High School, and I appreciate the efforts you've all took in managing the budget in this tough time, but I would like to speak about how the budget cut affects students. In recent years, these funding cuts have resulted in the removal of programs and teachers specifically targeting language, trade, and art-based programs. While this may seem logical from a financial standpoint, this method of budgeting fails to consider how the removal of such programs can affect students. Last year, the Chinese language program was cut from our high schools, and despite Lincoln's continuous trips to China, our former Chinese teacher, Mr. Burke, was removed from the school. Mr. Burke had a large impact on myself as well as other students during his time as a Lincoln teacher, creating a safe, inclusive classroom environment that helped us to learn and grow. When I first started his class during freshman year, I was afraid of public speaking, but now, thanks to my time in his class, I have become comfortable presenting in front of a large audience. Mr. Burke was the teacher I would lean on for support when I was struggling in school, so when I learned he wouldn't be returning this year, I was devastated. In his absence, it's been harder to motivate for myself for school and manage my stress as I no longer had the safe space of his classroom. I was not the only student who felt like this. A fellow classmate and friend of mine, Roxana, switched to the Running Start program this year due to his layoff along with the retirement of another teacher that was also caused by budget cuts. This year, I believe we will see a similar reaction from students as a result of these budget cuts and removals. One new teacher this year, Profe Jesus, has had a similar impact on students. He is very admired by his students and has helped motivate many of his students to take school more seriously. Like many of the teachers being let go, this is his first year teaching. The idea of getting rid of teachers due to their lack of experience is unfair, as how are they supposed to gain experience if their job is taken away due to lack thereof? Furthermore, programs being defunded are classes that operate differently from school. Students' core classes, meaning students can gain new perspective skills by taking these classes and discovering new passions through them. Language programs in particular are extremely important due to our diverse community, so I ask of you please consider student voices when removing programs and teachers from schools, as their education will be affected by these changes. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly. Nobody does. You must have had a great teacher.
I've got a funny to pronounce last name too.
I am currently, for the next few weeks, a peer inclusion preschool teacher. I'm not here to talk about me. I'm not here to talk about teachers and our importance. We all know that. I'm here to talk about my kids. I will fight and advocate for them whether I am their teacher or not. We have kids in my program who need the program, and they're being put into inappropriate placements where their needs will not be met, where their time will not be met. We have such a diverse group of our special education students, and we need the best for them. Cutting us as teachers and cutting our paras is not what's best for them. But I will take the displacement as long as I get to speak for my kids, and I will continue to do so. I will also continue to speak for our education support professionals, because I can't do my job without that woman over there. ESPs are just as valued and important as certificated staff. We cannot do this job without them. Our kids thrive because we have ESPs and we have committed special education teachers. This will help us reach the goal of inclusivity, but cutting them and making them go into classrooms that they are going to sink in, they're not going to get the attention they need or the resources they need, is not serving them. And I will keep doing this, and I will keep pushing through my social anxiety. And I'm about to cry, but I will continue because that's what they deserve.